Am I the asshole? I don't want to take over care for my husband's special needs nephew. We shall see. My in laws are raising their special needs grandson, and it is expected that my husband and I take over his care when my in laws pass or can't anymore. My husband is all for it, but that's because he doesn't take care of any of the caring of our own kids, and he won't for his nephew either. That's my job. I always say it. You guys marry people that don't like y'all. That's one. Two, you guys do not ask certain questions before you guys get married. Y'all are together, y'all in the whole happy moon phase, everybody's in love, and y'all miss out key questions. I remember, if I even find the paper, I would do a story time on the document. I had Googled before we even went to therapy to speak to a pastor before we got married. I literally had went on Google and Googled questions to ask before you get married. And I found this booklet, this packet. It was like a sheet. It had over 100 questions on it. And I sat down and went through them questions with my husband. As much as he was just like, we didn't do it all at the same time. But ever so often, like over the course of like weeks, months, we would go through 5 questions today. A couple of days later, we go through another 5 questions. But we went and we talked about it. So it was I think that's also why we mesh so well. Besides, the love and relationship we have, we mesh so well is because we actually know what page we're on in all aspects. Those 100 questions like get down and deep. Like answering a question like that, like knowing how you want your child to be raised. What religion are you okay with your child being raised? Because somebody's a Christian, somebody's Jewish, somebody's a Christian, somebody's Buddhist, somebody's Islamic. Like certain questions, important questions should be asked before you say I do, that you don't end up being blindsided when you're sitting there. Who's going to be the main breadwinner? Who's going to handle what? A lot of women don't realize that they're going to end up being a stay-at-home mom, taking care. Like some of them don't even know that they're already setting themselves up to be a stay-at-home mom and taking care of raising the kids and taking care of everything with the house once they have a baby, because they never had a discussion about that before. But let me digress and continue this story, because I definitely went off topic. But that's just a touchy subject for me, because y'all don't be having these type of conversations before y'all get married, and then y'all get blindsided. Let's continue. He's nonverbal, can't take care of many of his own hygienic needs, but is completely mobile and paces around all day. Here's where I get irritated. Nephew's mom is clinically crazy and is incapable of caring for him, but my in-laws push for the father to give up custody, right? Because they didn't like him. After so much pressure and lawyering up from my in-laws, he caved and gave up his right when my nephew was 2. 16 now. If they hadn't been like that, his father could have been taking care of him. Now I have to. I'm raising my kids to grow up and move out, and quite frankly, I don't want to have to raise an adult for the rest of their life or my life. Am I the asshole for not wanting to take him on? No. You're not the asshole. You know what the crazy part is? I could almost guarantee, now this is not, but I could almost guarantee that even though he is nonverbal and he's special needs somewhere on the spectrum, I could almost guarantee that at 2, when they were thinking about, because they didn't like the father and pushing him away, they were thinking about, oh, the grandson is going to grow out of it. He'll be fine. He'll be able to talk and do everything on his own. He'll grow up as a normal child. Because I guarantee you, if they thought that he was going to have to need help and assistance like this at the age of 16 and growing up for the rest of his life, they would not have pushed to get that father have his rights taken away. Or maybe they would have. Who knows? Hate is a very strong thing that happens through people. But the fact that they did that, now this man missed out a chance on life with his child. I honestly, being that I have a son who is partially nonverbal and that's on the spectrum, I completely understand. Me personally, I have a village to help take care of my child. If push come to shove, we got people around us. We got between brothers, aunts, uncles, grandparents that we trust, that our children love, that I'm fine with. If you do not feel that you are in the mental space or want to take care of this child, I'm going to tell you to do a couple things. First, have your nephew come over. No, first of all, before you even start there, go away for a weekend. Go away for the weekend and leave your husband with the kids. Because like you said, he has never taken care of the kids himself. Go away for a weekend and let him take care of the kids. That's one. Second step, go away for the weekend and invite the nephew over and let him take care of the kids along with the nephew. If that was to happen, I can almost guarantee he will change his mind about taking on having that nephew over. Because I would say to him, listen, I want you to experience what I will be experiencing taking care of this child with our family. They have lovely places that he can be put in if the grandparents are no longer alive and or no longer able to take care of him. They have places that he can go and stay that's specifically for people that are special needs and that have developmental delays, that cannot care for themselves later on in life. They have places that they can stay, like a nursing home for people with special needs. That is the only other option. Because if the mother's clinically crazy and she can't take care of him, who knows? Maybe even reach back out. He lost his rights, so he can't even. I don't know if you lose your rights. Can you get your rights back? Would he even want to get his rights back? Would he even want to step in to take care of his son? It's just too much. If you don't want to, I say use those examples of what to do with your husband, and if he don't want to go with it, listen, we're going to figure out this whole marriage, because you're not about to. I'm waiting for my kids to get up, grow older, and leave the nest. Not for me to take care of a child that's not mine for the rest of my life. No, if that's not something you want to do, because you're going to have resentment towards your husband, you're going to have resentment towards that child, you're going to have hatred in your heart for whatever situation that you're going to be put in that you don't want to get put in. So the next option, if they're not here on this earth to take care of that child, or they're incapable of taking care of that child, put him in a home for kids, for adults that with special needs. That's the only other option, where he can be safe. Y'all could check up on him, but he would not be a situation where you will have to hold on to that burden of taking care of him day in and day out and despise your husband because he's not helping you at all.